The Borderlands movie is absolutely terrible, and it's one of the most unfunny, unpleasant experiences I've had at the cinema. The movie is full of annoying girl bosses, awful characters, dumb plot holes, the girl who's the key to everything trope, and a bad soundtrack. Eli Roth, the director, has somehow managed to make one of the worst video game adaptations in history. It tries very hard to be Guardians of the Galaxy, but completely fails to understand why that movie works. And just like most other shit adaptations, it's filled with completely empty, meaningless Easter eggs that are only there to try and trick the audience into thinking that the writers are fans of the games, when they are clearly not. There is nothing remotely enjoyable about this movie, as the action scenes go on far too long and are not even good to watch. They are dull, boring and lifeless with no stakes attached to them. The CGI looks like cat shit, the plot is an absolute mess, and most of the characters are useless. Literally half the characters are completely wasted as the writers do absolutely nothing with them. And the other half are just a bunch of poorly casted women, most of whom are way too old to be playing these young characters. Most of the girls in this behave like assholes to everyone because modern writers seem to think that being a wanker is the same as being a tough guy. First off, we have Lilith, the main character, who is played by Cate Blanchett, a woman who is at least 30 years too old to be playing such a woman. In the games, Lilith is in her late 20s, whereas Cate Blanchett is in her 50s. And you can tell she's had a lot of Botox, what with how little her facial expressions changed throughout the movie. Lilith is the stereotypical unlikable girl boss that treats everyone around her like shit because the writers are desperate for her to come across like a strong, independent woman rather than what she really is, which is just an asshole. Her character has a very weak motivation to get involved and stay in the story. Lilith is just offered a bunch of money to take on a very dangerous job that she doesn't want to do, but we never find out why she needs the money or what she really wants in general. She has no personal motivation for the audience to get invested in. She's nothing more than a two-dimensional girl boss who is also the most amazing person to have ever existed.
I am shocked! Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Next up is Tina, who is the girl that is the key to everything. She has a contradictory personality because on one hand, her being the most important person alive is why she has never been free, is always being hunted by her dad and is the source of all her problems. But by the end of the movie, when she finds out that she's not special, it's the most devastating news to her because now she enjoys being the chosen one, which makes absolutely no sense. She's also pretty annoying and has a brother-sister relationship with Krieg the Psycho, who is completely wasted. You'll find that the film does this a lot, as it wastes a lot of time on shit that doesn't matter, but rushes very important character building moments, most of which happens off screen, which is exactly what they did with Krieg, because at the beginning of the movie he's just a prisoner that meets Tina and Roland for the first time, before the plot fast forwards several months later and now they're the best of friends. That's it, that's all we get from them. They are basically family and it all happened off camera. This film needed one scene to show why these characters are so attached to each other. Krieg's a psycho, so why not lean into that? Maybe he had a rabbit that died when he was young, and now he mistakes Tina and her bunny ears for being that rabbit. Or maybe, if you want to go darker, he plans to kill her himself in a special way, and is only being protective of her until then. Literally anything would have been better than nothing, which is what we got. All we needed was one scene to explain why they are so attached to each other. But no, we got fuck all. And Kevin Hart's character Roland is no different. His motivation is that he wants to stop the main baddie from getting to the vault, which is this alien bunker which has all this technology. And he used to be the leader of the Crimson Raiders, which is the mercenary group that the main villain now controls. Just what is his connection to the woman who is now in charge of the group, and what made him turn against the main baddie? Well, we never find out because these plotlines remain unresolved and go nowhere, just like his character.
A lot of that going around.
Yeah, it's an epidemic.
Jamie Lee Curtis plays Patricia Tannis, who again is another poorly casted actress. This is what Tannis is supposed to look like, a young hot scientist, whereas Jamie Lee Curtis is almost 70 years old. Her character is connected to Lilith as she was trusted with her safety by her mother when she was a child, before giving her away to a bunch of dangerous criminals, all because she couldn't be bothered to raise Lilith herself. so the pair of them have some seriously unresolved issues that they have to work through. But Lilith and Tannis only have one argument between them with nothing being fixed, but by the end of the movie they just become friends and all is forgiven.
That's so fucking lazy.
Tannis is also completely obsessed with finding and opening the vault, which is the main reason why she abandoned Lilith, but we never find out why she is other than the plot needs her to. Again, she's just another bland, generic, two-dimensional character that goes absolutely nowhere. And finally, we come to the one person whose character has been totally assassinated from the games, and it's Claptrap. He does not remotely resemble the original Claptrap from the games, as he behaves like a completely different person that doesn't even swear.
Hey there, it's Lilith. I'm the leader and stuff. Where's the vault? Where's my vault?
Well, of course you won with those cards. Even Steve could have won with those cards. And all he can say is, hey-o.
Oh.
Shut the f*** up, Steve.
Voiced by Jack Black, he is the most unfunny and irritating person out of everyone, so he's exactly like Jack Black. He is one of the reasons why the film is not just unfunny, but is actually anti-comedy, as whenever Claptrap is on the screen, you can actually feel everyone in the audience collectively groan as he sucks all of the humour out of the room, which is exactly what happened to the theatre that I was in when I went to see it. There were kids there and not one of them laughed for the entire duration of the movie because even dumb kids realised that this film was dog shit.
I'm actually embarrassed for you.
The comedy being painfully unfunny is quite ironic since it actually has two comedians in this movie, Kevin Hart and Bobby Lee. But even comedians can't be funny if they've got a boring script and nothing to work with. Aesthetically, this doesn't look that much like Borderlands either, as after only looking online for 2 minutes, I managed to find a much better and more accurate costume design done by a cosplayer that actually resembles the art style from the games, and I guarantee that this costume cost way less than the shit they are wearing in the movie.
You can take that to the damn bank!
Last but not least, we have the story, which feels less like a narrative and more like a sequence of events stacked on top of one another with no connective thread that ties them all together. Most of the story beats are find a thing that points to the next thing, have a big fight before escaping, and repeat. And because of this repetitive storytelling, somehow the plot feels both incredibly slow and rushed as well, because they just skip past important plot details and character motivations, but waste tons of time on Claptrap doing really unfunny dumb shit. There's also a bunch of plot holes and story details that don't make any sense, like why did Lilith's mother stay behind on Pandora to record a message and be murdered, instead of just leaving with her daughter? Why did Claptrap, who was programmed by her mother to help Lilith when she returned to Pandora, not just give Lilith her mother's final message, and instead for some reason have to scan a random drawing she did as a kid for it to activate? And by the end of the movie, how is Lilith the Firebird god of an alien race that died out years before she was born? What, did her mother get fucked by an alien?
Who fucking cares?
Borderlands is looking to become a box office failure and it completely deserves to bomb. But this is exactly what happens when the director is not looking to make a faithful adaptation, but rather a skin suit movie. Which, for those of you who don't know, a skin suit is when a director intentionally creates a movie or TV show that's completely different from the franchise or source material that it's supposed to be set in, and they just slap the title of the brand on the skin suit to help sell this fake product to people as the real thing. For example, think of Netflix's Resident Evil, which is supposed to be about zombies, but in actuality, it's about two annoying black sisters arguing with each other about who's more irritating. Or Ghostbusters 2016, which is supposed to be about ghosts, but in actuality, it's about a bunch of unfunny feminists showing us just how far you can go on no talent. Or the upcoming Snow White movie where there is no Prince Charming. Snow White, who was named such for her skin colour, is now brown, and the dwarves can't be called dwarves because that's offensive, is coming out, which has absolutely nothing in common with the original tale. So yeah, don't watch Borderlands, it's not even fun to hate watch. It's just a boring slog with shit characters, unfunny jokes and bad action scenes.
It's a piece of shit.